If you're doing everything right and your natural hair is still stuck at shoulder length, your everyday habits are the problem. What you're fighting are normal everyday culprits that chip away at the strands of your hair little by little. Not one big mistake, but tiny little habits, tiny little moves that thin out your ponytails, fray your ends, and makes your style not last longer than Wednesday. In today's video, we are going to name those culprits, explain their mechanism of action, and replace each one of them with a fix that protects your length without asking you to be in your hair 24/7. We will use the principles of load, friction, and foam control to keep your strands intact, keep your scalp less inflamed, and your styles more predictable. Before we get started, let's define what fine natural hair actually is, because it is not low density hair. Low density simply means that there are fewer number of strands per square inch on the head, which can make the scalp more visible and the hair look flat and sparse. Fine strands, on the other hand, are strands on the head that have a smaller diameter, fewer cuticle layers on average, and a lower cross-sectional strength than coarse strands. What that means is the same amount of friction, of heat, of pull, of product buildup creates more damage per strand. Your hair can be dense or sparse, but your single strands can still be fine. Here are 10 normal, seemingly okay habits that are destroying your fine natural hair. Number one, here's the scenario. You detangle your hair style, say midweek, to refresh it. Then come wash day, you detangle when you pre-poo it to loosen up all of the strands that have shed, right? And then you detangle it again when water hits your hair. Then when you're shampooing, you rake your fingers through it to get the shampoo in there. Then when you're conditioning, you do the proper detangling. Then when you're styling, you detangle again to blow dry, or you detangle to style. Several rounds of combing on fine strands multiplies cuticle scuffing. One pass with a comb or a brush is more than enough. 5 passes while dry, then when wet, then when damp, then when wet again, then when dry, will raise fibers and cause snagging. Every pass increases lateral shear along the cuticles of your hair. On fine hair, the margin of error is so tiny that microchips start to form in the hair starts to split, and then you get wispy ends and hair that is stuck at shoulder length forever. Here's a fix that works. Collapse all of your detangling into one single high slip window. Either you finger detangle in the shower with tons of conditioner in your hair under running warm water, or you brush detangle with a comb or a brush that is made for curly hair and has a lot of give in it with tons of conditioner. If you like to pre-poo, pre-separate to remove the shed hairs, not to fully detangle your hair every single portion of your wash day. Then hands off until you're styling. Most importantly, we need to appreciate and accept that your natural hair can never be fully detangled. Nothing we can do about that. Once we accept that fact about our hair, we will stop forcing it to bend to our combs and to our brushes. It is easy to think that you're being gentle while you are detangling your hair. I thought so too, until I conducted an experiment collecting all of my shed hairs every wash day for 2 months. The results said otherwise. I thought I was being gentle, but I was in fact breaking my hair off. Check the video out here. So, number 1 is detangling your hair at multiple steps of your routine. Number 2, fine hair loves consistency. Yes, absolutely, but with good hair care practices and not with hairstyles. Why too much tension? Say you wash your hair on Saturday, right, over the weekend. Every restyle is a new round of tension, of friction. On Monday, you do a puff, or you take down the twist, you fluff it. On Tuesday, you do something else. On Wednesday, a half up, a half down. On Thursday, you refresh it. On Friday, a slick back. That is 5 different force directions that we are making our delicate fibers and edges take and forcing our hair into. Each strand will fatigue faster than if you just kept the one style for the entire week, even when it did not look like wash day hair, which is very important. I know we like fresh hair, I do too, but the longer the style is, it will look like the age, right? So setting our expectations and going, right, my hair will not look like wash day hair every day of its life, that will do us a lot of good. Because all it takes is to install braids, take them down, and be shocked at the breakage that we get. Not the shedding, but the breakage that you suffer. Then we think that, oh, braids are not for me, or that braider broke my hair, or the hair broke my hair. When in fact, it's you not knowing that your strands have already been stretched and stretched and stretched to limit one too many times, and the braids were just the final straw. Here's a fix that works. Pick a weekly style or a monthly style or a 2-weekly style and a style cycle and stick to it. If you're wearing a wash and go, wear it for the entire week, or do a simple bun at the end of the week. Something that does not require you to part your hair, to slick it down, to brush it down, to put it in a tight ponytail and tie it even tighter and give yourself a headache. Be boring with your hairstyles and focus on 1 or 2 styles that you can master and you can do in your sleep, and end of story. An analogy that will work here is to see your hair as the individual strands, not as the whole fro on your head. Thinking of your hair as a whole can give you the illusion of full hair or strong hair, when in fact your individual strands are so fine that they break after repeated loading. So number 2 is switching your hairstyles way too often. Number 3, this one is counterintuitive, but on fine natural hair, a hard blunt cut can make the ends look see-through and collapse the shape of the hair because the strand bundle does not have the heft to support a blunt cut. The mass may look fuller on wash day after you've just trimmed your hair, but then the hair drops and starts to fray. Also, cutting your hair for the illusion of volume keeps you stuck at shoulder length. If you have fine natural hair that is combed and styled and groomed often, cutting it into a blunt cut after heat stretching it is not the answer. It really isn't. I know lots of us will not agree with me because we like seeing those blunt cuts. We like seeing crisp, neat cuts on social media. We do not like seeing wispy ends here and there, but our hair does not grow blunt. It tapers. So number 3 is blunt cuts on fine natural hair. Number 4, as the rep of the No Edges Association, we need to stop installing styles that concentrate so much tension on our edges or on the same tracks, especially the front hairline where the fibers of our hair are the finest. Pulling your already fine and fragile 4.5 strands of edges into a bun, into a braid, into something so tight like a cornrow leads to traction alopecia. Traction plus repetition equals edge loss and crown soreness. Leave your edges out. Leave them out. Keep them loose. If it pinches, it is too tight. While on the edges topic, watch out for bonnets that are not lined on the inside. Those will break your edges and your nape area quickly, way too quickly. Also, watch out for shower caps placed on the edges overnight or when you're styling your hair. Your edges are the finest fibers on your head, often with shorter growth cycles. Daily brushing and applying tight gels and tying your scarf and pulling is so hard, and friction from bonnets and exposed elastic on the inside of bonnets or shower caps can create constant shear load. Over weeks, that reads as thinning, as receding, especially at the corners and the temples. TLDR, leave your edges out of the equation. So number 4 is cornrows going straight back, or any style at all that puts tension on your edges. Number 5, and this one is controversial, I know, but taking advice from coarse-haired naturals or coarse-haired content creators. Their hair is gorgeous, no doubt. Their routine, their effort, everything, they work so hard on their hair to get their hair to look as gorgeous as it does. However, their strand physics is very different from yours. Coarse strands tolerate more brushing, more heavier styling and heavier butters, more tighter molding, more hard resets without showing damage too quickly. When your fine hair copies their routine, you see thinning faster, you see flakes from buildup, you see styles that fall flat. Look for creators who say fine hair explicitly, use lighter leave-ins, wear low tension styles, and do minimal manipulation to your edges. Of course, watch and appreciate every creator that you like. Everyone with fine hair, coarse hair, does not matter. Watch them and appreciate them. And of course, fine hair is also a spectrum. So I have fine hair, but my hair may be thicker or thinner than yours. However, when you take a tip from a creator with coarse hair, scale it down. Lighter hand, fewer passes, shorter wear time, scale it back to what suits your hair. If a step increases friction or heat or pull, it needs a proportional reduction on your own hair, on your own fine hair. Number 6 is blow drying with a comb attachment. Again, another controversial one. Comb teeth concentrate force on the hair while the cuticles are vulnerable from heat. But we want to blow dry hair, we like doing that. However, on strands that are fine, that equals mid-shaft splits. So you get stretched hair with a comb or a brush, but you pay in micro breaks. You already have such fine hair that any little thing you do to it can be exponentially detrimental, especially after combing or brushing at several steps on wash day, especially on fine hair. Cyclic loading is real, and it's only a matter of time before the strand stretches and snaps because it cannot return back to its original position. The tension method works. It works great. Keep the section taut and then blow dry it. Blow dry it in small to medium sections, medium to high heat, high fan speed, and do a cold pass. If you must use a comb, reserve it for the very end, the last 10 to 15%. On cool or low heat with only wide tooth comb, nothing smaller, nothing fine, and leave your ends out of the question, especially if they are already compromised. Is blow drying bad for your hair? No, absolutely not. I blow dry my hair on a regular basis, but adding load-in again and again and again and again will compromise your fine hair over time. Number 7, tension and weight from extensions, i.e. too much added hair, or heavy beads dangling at the end of your hair, or from clip-ins that are really just pulling your face backward. Added hair increases load. Load plus time equals traction. Your fine roots fatigue faster because they are fine, especially around the temples, around the nape, and around the lines of our parting. The style may look sleek on day one, but the price we pay is the shedding clusters, lots of short broken hairs after takedown. It is not worth it at all. No style is worth that trouble. And if it hurts, imagine how your follicles feel. I know that we are on the hunt for a natural hairstyle that we can do with our own hair that lasts a good amount of time and remains neat. I'm sorry to tell you, there is no such thing. We just need to accept what our hair can do and what our hair cannot do. We need to accept that. That is the fact. So just use your own hair for your styles. No added hair or minimal or feather light added hair. Don't use more hair than you have your hair in a section. Also, use fewer parts, use fewer extensions so that your sections are bigger and your follicles will thank you. So number 7 is braids and twists with added hair or with too much hair. And installing those beads in the end of the hair that are heavy, then we stack them up and then they're pulling on the skinny braids or the skinny twists. Not a good idea. Not a very good idea. Number 8 is doing your hair when you're frustrated, when you're rushed or hungry. Our grip strength increases when we are stressed. Your hands will pull even harder because you're upset. You're less patient and you will yank your hair with your brush. Cortisol also nudges scalp sensitivity, so everything feels off. And then you overcorrect and the cycle just continues and continues. Move your hair tasks to a fed and calmer window. Have a meal, have a drink, wash your hair when you're not stressed. Put on some music if that's what you're into. But just get it done is not the energy you want to bring to your hair. Stop and do the simplest thing you can do with your hair, like put it in a bun, and postpone it to when you have a more conducive time. Number 9 is washing your hair in twists, another controversial one, or washing your hair in braids. This one hurts my soul so bad. For coarse hair, washing your hair in twists can control tangles, right? For fine strands, oh my life, those small twists can form ropes that wrap around each other and create webbing, and then what do you know? You feel tangle-free when you wash your hair, and then you spend an hour Post-wash day, undoing knots along the whole twist. How do I know? Let's just say I will never wash my hair in twists or braids again. Never, because no matter how big my section is, when I twist my hair up and I condense it into a twist, it is so skinny that when I go to wash it, my hair's like, oh, thank you very much. We will just marry each other up. And those are twists and not braids, because twists are more forgiving than braids are. On my hair, when I braid my hair, my braids are even skinnier. Never. I will never wet my hair in twists or in braids ever again. I've tried it thrice this year, and each time it was a disaster. Tangles galore. Number 10 is over clarifying or over chelating your fine natural hair on a schedule when you don't even use enough products that cause buildup on your hair. This will make your fine hair feel squeaky clean today and brittle and dry by Friday. Clarifiers and chelators have their place, yes. They remove foam and buildup and minerals from the hair, but overuse of these products strips surface lipids in the cell membrane complex of the hair that helps the cuticles lie flat. Your already fine strands with a smaller cross-section lose slip capital very fast. The smarter path is to match your cleanser strength to the actual buildup and water hardness that your hair endures. If you live with hard water, introducing a true chelating periodically or after swims is excellent, paired with a good rich conditioner, a good rich leave-in conditioner to replenish your hair. However, if you've got soft water, you use light products, you cleanse your hair very regularly, regular shampoo will work just fine for you on most weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If there's anything at all that has been left out that other fine-haired naturals will benefit from, please let us know in the comments below. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.